Hi guys, we're back again, and we're going to finish our book today, Junie B. Jones and the Stupid Smelly Bus. Do you remember what happened on there? She got to start kindergarten, and she's riding the big, yellow, stupid, smelly bus. She doesn't like it at all. And she's been in class, and she's met a friend, Lucille, and a couple of other girls, Charlotte and Grace, and a boy named Ham. Remember? She said that she ate ham at her Grandma Miller's. Then they were ready to leave school, and she didn't get on the bus, remember? She stayed back in the room. Let's find out what happens. Chapter 6, A Good Hider. When you're the very last one in line, nobody watches you. That's how come nobody saw me when I ducked behind the teacher's desk and hid. I'm a good hider. One time, Grandma Miller's house, I hid under the kitchen sink. Then I made a growly sound and sprung out at her. I'm not allowed to do that anymore. Anyway, I stayed scrunched behind the teacher's desk for a while, and then I saw a better place to hide. It was the big supply closet in the back of the room. So I ran back there very fast, and I squeezed into the bottom shelf. I squeezed right on top of the construction paper. Most of me was comfortable, except my head was sort of very tight, and my knees were all bent, like when I do somersaults. Then I pulled the door mostly closed. Don't shut it all the way, though. And I mean it, I said right out loud. I stayed real quiet for lots of minutes. Then I heard noises in the hall, and some feet come running into the room. Big people feet, I think. What happened? I heard someone ask. One of my little girls is lost, said the voice that sounded like Mrs. Her name is Junie B. Jones, and she didn't get on the bus, so now we've got to go out looking for her. Then I heard some keys jingle, and the feet went running out again, and the door shut. I still didn't come out of the closet, though. When you're a good hider, you can't come out for a very, very long time. I just stayed there all bent up, and I told myself a story. Not out loud story. I just told it inside my head. It was called The Little Hiding Girl. I made it up, and this is how it went. Once upon a time, there was a little hiding girl. She was in a secret spot where nobody could find her, except her head was very tight, and her brain was squishing out. But she still couldn't come out of her spot, or a smelly yellow monster would get her, and also some meanies with chocolate milk. The end. After that, I rested my eyes. Resting my eyes is what my grandpa does when he's watching TV after dinner. Then he snores, and Grandma Miller says, "Go to bed, Frank." It's not the same thing as a nap, though. 'Cause naps are for babies, that's why. And anyway, I don't snore. I just did a little drool. Then finally, when my eyes were done resting, they woke up. And so I came out of the closet and ran right to the window. And guess what? There weren't any cars in the parking lot. And no stupid smelly bus either. Whew, that's a relief, I said. A relief is when your stomach doesn't feel squeezy anymore. After that, I went back to the closet. Because while I was hiding, I sniffed the smell of clay. That's why. And clay is my very favorite thing in the whole world. Hey, I see it up there, I said. The clay was on the middle shelf. I stood on a chair to get it. It was blue and stiff, and so I had to roll it on the floor to make it soft and warm. Then I rolled it into a blue-orange. It was very beautiful, except it had some dirt and hair on it. After I was done, I went to the front of the room and sat down on my teacher's big chair. I like teachers' desks very much. The drawers are so big. I could fit in one, I think. I opened up the top one. There were happy face stickers and rubber bands and also gold stars, which I love a very lot. I stuck one on my forehead. Then I found paper clips and red marking pens and new pencils with no points and scissors and travel tissues. And guess what else? Chalk, I said. Brand new chalk that's not even out of its little box yet. Then I stood on my teacher's chair and clapped my hands together very loud. I want everyone to find a chair and sit down. Today we're going to learn some alphabet and some reading. And also, I will teach you how to make blue-orange. But first, everyone has to watch me draw stuff. Then I went to the board and drew with my brand new chalk. I drew a bean and a carrot and some curly hair. Then I wrote some O's. O's are my bestest letter. After that, I bowed. Thank you very much, I said. Now you may all go out for recess. I smiled, except for not that gem. Number 7. Peeky holes and spying. After a while, I started to get a little bit thirsty. That's what happens when chalk sprinkles get into your throat. I would like a drink of water, I think, I said. Then I put my hand on my hips. Yeah, only what if someone sees you at the water fountain? Then they might call the Stupid Smelly Bus to come get you, and so you better not go. I stamped my foot. Yeah, only I have to go, 'cause there's dumb chalk in my throat. Then all of a sudden, I got a great idea. I pulled a chair over to the door, and I peeked out the window at the top. I'm a good peeker. One time I peeked right into Grandpa Miller's mouth when he was sleeping, and I saw that dangly thing that hangs down in the back. I didn't touch it, though, 'cause I didn't have a little stick or anything. That's why. Anyway, I didn't see anybody in the hall, and so I opened the door a crack, and I sniffed, 'cause when you sniff, you can smell if there's people around. I learned sniffing from my dog, Tickle. Dogs can smell everything. People can mostly just smell big smells, like stink and flowers and dinner. Nope, don't smell anyone, I said. Then I ran to the water fountain and I drank for a long time. And nobody tapped me and said, "Hurry up, girl." After that, I stood on my tippy toes and I tippy-toed to the media center, 'cause I love that place, remember? The media center is kind of like a fort. The shelves are like walls and the books are sort of like bricks. And you can move some of them around and make peeky holes. Peeky holes are what you spy out of. Then if you see someone coming, you can make your breath very quiet and they won't find you. I spied for a long time, but nobody came. The only people in the media center was just me and some fish. The fish were in a big glass tank. I waved at them. Then I stirred them with my pencil. I love fish very much. I eat them for dinner with coleslaw. Just then I saw my most favorite thing in the whole world. Its name is an electric pencil sharpener, and it was sitting right on the librarian's desk. "Hey," I said, excited, "I think I know how to work that thing." Then I looked at the desk drawer, and guess what? There were lots of brand new pencils in there, and so I sharpened them. It was funner than anything, 'cause an electric pencil sharpener makes nice noise. And you can make pencils as tiny as you want. You just keep pushing them into the little hole, and they just keep getting on tinier and tinier. It doesn't work on crayons, though. I tried a red one, then the pencil sharpener slowed way down. and then it made an sound. And after that, it didn't go anymore. Just then I heard a noise. It was walking feet, and it made me scared inside, 'cause I didn't want anyone to find me, that's why. And so I squatted way down and looked through my peeky hole. Then I saw a man with a trash can. He was singing, "Somewhere over the rainbow." That's a song I know. It's from my favorite movie, which is called The Wizard of Oz. The man in the can didn't see me. He walked down the hall, then I heard him go outside. I stayed squatted down for a long time, but he never came back. "Whew, that was a close one," I said. And so then I ran to find a better place to hide. Chapter number 8, The Dangerous Nurse's Office. Guess where I ran to? Straight to the nurse's office, of course, 'cause there's those plaid blankets to hide under. There's other neat stuff in there too, like a scale to weigh yourself and a sign with a giant E and other letters. The nurse used the sign to test your eyes. She points to the letters and you have to yell out the name. You have to yell the E the loudest. That's how come it's so big. And guess what else I saw in the nurse's office? Band-Aids, that's what. I love those guys. They were on top of the desk, and so I opened the lid and I sniffed them. I said, 'cause Band-Aids smelled just like brand new beach ball. Then I dumped them out. They were the most prettiest Band-Aids I ever saw. They were red and blue and green, and also yellow, which is the color I hate. And they were different shapes too. There were squares and circles, and some were that very long kind, which are called tangles, I think. I put on green circles on my knee. That's where I fell down on the sidewalk last week. It's mostly all better now, but if I press it very hard with my thumb, I can still make it hurt. After that, I put a blue tangle on my finger. That's where I got a splinter from the picnic table. Mother pulled it out with tweezers, but there's still some table in there, I think. Also, I put on a red square on my arm. That's where Tickle scratched me, because I got him all wound up. Just then, I saw the nurse's purple sweater. It was hanging on the chair. I put it on. "Now I'm a nurse," I said. Then I sat down and I pretended to call the hospital. "Hello, hospital? It's me, the nurse. I need some more Band-Aids and some aspirin and some cherry cough drops. Only not the kind that makes your mouth feel freezy. And I need some lollipops when kids get needles. And also, I need a little stick of something in case I have to touch that dangly thing that hangs down in the throat." Then I pretended to call room 9. "Hello, missus. Please send that Jim to my office. I have to give him a shot." Just then I saw my most favorite thing in the whole world. They were near the door, and their name is crutches. Crutches are for when you break a leg. Then the doctor puts you in this big white cast with just your piggies sticking out. And you can't walk on it, and so she gives you crutches to swing yourself. I ran over and picked them up. Then I put them under my arms. Only they were way too long for me, and I didn't swing that good. And so then I got another idea. I carried them to the nurse's chair, and I climbed up there so I was real tall. And then I put the crutches under my arms, and they fit just right. After that, I stood on the edge of the chair and I leaned forward very slow. Except then a terrible thing happened. The chair was on wheels and it rolled away from my feet. And I got stuck on the crutches way up high in the air, and I was very dangly up there. "Hey!" I shouted, "get me down from here!" Then I wiggled around, and one of the crutches slipped, and I came crashing down, and I banged my head on the desk. "Ow!" I yelled, "Ow, ow, ow!" Then I picked up the phone again, and I quit this stupid job, I said. And then I ran out there very fast, 'cause my nurse's office is a dangerous place, and crutches aren't my favorite thing. Number 9, zooming speedy fast. I like running inside the school. It's funner than running inside your house. In school, you can zoom with your arms out like a jet plane and don't knock over the furniture. And also, the head doesn't get broken off your mother's bird statue, which used to be the blue jay, I think. I zoomed straight to the cafeteria, 'cause there's lots of tables to hide under in that place. Only when I tried to open the door, it was all locked up. And so then I ran to another room across the hall. Only that stupid door was locked too. "Hey, who did all this dumb locking?" I asked. Then I started jiggling up and down, 'cause I was having a little bit of a problem, that's why. The kind of problem that's called personal, and it's about going to the potty. And so all of a sudden I had to run down the hall, speedy quick, right to the girls' bathroom. Only guess what? When I got there, the stupid door wouldn't open either. And so I kicked it, and I hanged on the handle, 'cause I weigh 37. "Open up, and I mean it," I yelled. But the door kept on staying shut. "It's an emergency," I shouted. Then all of a sudden I remember about the boy I can beat up, 'cause he had emergency too. And he got to go into the boys' bathroom. And so I zoomed across the hall, and I pulled on the boys' bathroom door, but that dumb thing was locked too. "Stupid, stupid door," I hollered. After that I started to jiggle up and down very fast. Oh no! Now I'm gonna have an accident on my skirt that looks like velvet. Only just then I remembered something else about emergencies. 'Cause Mother told me what to do if I ever needed help. And its name is called 911. And so then I ran back to the dangerous nurse's office, 'cause that's where the phone was, of course. Then I picked it up and I pushed 9. And the 1 and another 1. "Help! This is an emergency!" I yelled. "All the doors are locked in this place, and now I'm going to have a terrible accident." Then I heard a voice on the other end. She said for me to calm down. "Yeah, only I can't, 'cause I'm in big trouble, and I'm all by myself, and I need help really bad." Then the lady said to calm down again, except for I couldn't stand still, and so I just hung up and ran right out of there. And I just kept running and running till I got to the big doors at the end of the hall. And then I ran right outside, 'cause maybe there might be a little toilet out there or something, except I didn't see one. And all I could hear were sirens. Loud sirens were all over the place, and they kept on getting louder and closer. And then a big green fire truck came zooming right around the corner, and a white police car, and a fast red ambulance. And guess what else? They turned right into the school parking lot. And so I stopped jiggling for a second, and I sniffed the air, and only I couldn't smell any smoke. Then I heard a grouchy voice. "Hey, hold it, Missy," he yelled. And I got very scared inside, 'cause Missy's my name when I'm in trouble. I turned around. It was a man with the can, and he was running at me. "Hold it right there," he hollered again. And then I started to cry. "Yeah, only that's the trouble. I can't hold it," I said. I already holded it all I can, and now I'm having emergency, and all the bathrooms are locked, and now I'm going to have an accident very quick. And then the man with the can didn't look so grouchy anymore. Well, why didn't you say so, sis? He said. Then he pulled a big bunch of keys out of the pocket, and he grabbed my hand. And then him and me zoomed back into the school, speedy fast. Our last chapter, me and that Grace. The man with the can unlocked the girls' bathroom before me, and I ran right in there. And guess what? I made it. That's what. I didn't have an accident on my skirt that looks like velvet. Whew, that was a close one, I said. Then I washed my hands at the sink and I looked in the mirror, and the gold star was still on my forehead. It looked very beautiful up there. After that, I went into the hall with the man and the can bent down to me. Everything okay, sis? He said. And so I nodded my head. I holded it, I said, very happy. Then all of a sudden there were lots of people running at us. There was a fireman and policeman, and there was a tall lady rolling a bed on wheels. Hey, I said to the man with the can, what happened? Did someone get run over in here or something? Then I saw Mrs. and Principal and Mother. They were running at us too, and then Mother bent down and hugged me very tight. After that, everyone started talking at once, and nobody was using their quiet voice, and everyone was smiling, and nobody was smiling either. Principal started asking me a jillion questions. Mostly they were questions about hiding in this stupid closet. I'm a good hider, I told him. Principal acted a little bit grumpy. He said I wasn't allowed to do that anymore. When you go to school, you have to follow the rules, he said. What would happen if every boy and girl hid in the supply closet after school? It would be very smushy in there, I said. Then he made his eyes frowny. But we wouldn't know where anyone was, would we? He said. Yes, I said. We would all be in the supply closet. Then Principal looked up at the ceiling. I looked up too, but I didn't see anything again. After that, Mother looked at my Band-Aids. Did you hurt yourself? She asked. And so I told her all about the dangerous nurse's office, and then I showed her the nurse's purple sweater, and she made me give it back. After that, everybody started leaving, the firemen and the policemen, and also the tall lady with the bed. Then finally, my mother got to take me home, and guess what? I didn't have to ride on the stupid smelly bus. Except the car wasn't that fun, 'cause Mother was grouchy at me. I'm sorry the bus wasn't fun for you, Junie B, she said. But what you did was very, very wrong. Did you see all of the commotion you caused? You had a lot of people very scared. Yes, but I didn't want chocolate milk poured on my head, I explained to her. That's not going to happen, growled her mother, and you can't suddenly decide for yourself not to ride the bus. Hundreds of kids ride buses every day, and if they can do it, you can do it too. Then my eyes got wet again. Yeah, but there's meanies on the thing, I said, all sniffly. Then Mother stopped being so growly. What if you had a friend to ride with? She said. Your teacher told me there's a girl in your class who will be riding the bus for the first time tomorrow. Maybe you could sit together. Would you like that? I made my shoulders go up and down. Her name is Grace, her mother said. Grace? I said. Hey, I know that Grace. I learned her today. And so when we got home, Mother called that Grace's mother. Then they talked. And then me and Grace talked too. I said hi, and she said hi. And she said she would sit with me. And so tomorrow, I get to take my little red purse on the bus, and I get to put it on the seat next to me so nobody will sit there. Nobody except for that Grace, of course. And then she and me might get to be buddies, and we can hold hands just like me and Lucille. I will like that, I think. And guess what else? Tomorrow, I think I might like a yellow a little bit too. The end.